Whew. All right, 3 cheers for the Harn, who's sneaking away. There he is. There he goes. He's like, come on, you have to put me in every single video, Sarah. Oh my word, that was crazy. So we have been trying for a full 15 minutes to get online. We've rebooted the phone, we've rebooted Facebook, we rebooted the router, we've rebooted everything, and finally was able to get on. So praise the Lord, we're here. You're stuck with me tonight. You thought you were going to get out of D23 boot camp, but nope, you didn't get out of it. Thank you for your grace tonight, though, and for holding on. I'm really grateful. We finished homeschooling at 8:45 tonight. Just one of those crazy mom days. Hopped in the shower, got everybody a salad for dinner. They got some avocado, a couple cucumbers, peppers, and some spinach, and bam, on here, ready to go. So it's an awesome night. This is one of my favorite nights of the training. I'm very, very excited about it because this is where I share a whole slew of my mistakes. And Crystal says she's at Costco. That's awesome. Julie, it's great that you found me. I found me too. I couldn't find me either. We've been trying to find me for about 15 minutes. So you guys look around for this crazy hair at convention and you'll be able to find me that way, right? So tonight's topic is on distractions. Let me bring up my notes. We've been so busy rebooting everything. It's on distraction, and I'm going to just jump right into it. My name is Sarah Harnish, so maybe one of your leaders directed you here, or you saw a link from a contest to this page, and this is the first time that you popped on, and you've not seen any of the video boot camps before. I'm the author of this book, which is Game Plan, the complete strategy guide to go from starter kit to silver. And you can grab this puppy up on Amazon. We also have a workbook that goes along with it. And I'll tell you, I'm a red personality. We're going to talk a little bit about personality types tonight, just briefly. And so I was not going to write the workbook. I wrote the book originally just to stand by itself. But when we ran our team through the boot camp, they said, Sarah, we really, really need a workbook. Your tips and tactics are great, but we need to customize them for us. So the workbook was written because of my team. My team said, all right, put it in our terms. Help us write our opens and closes. Give us words to use. Give us scripts. Show us how to budget our time. We need to see it written out. Show me how to make a prayer journal. Show me all these things. And that's what the workbook is for. It literally takes all of the stuff inside the game plan book and customizes it for you, specifically for your team. So it's really, really a good thing. The one thing I didn't want it to be was a fill in the blank book. I was really, really determined not to make a fill in the blank book. If I was going to write another book, it had to be very tangible, in your hands stuff. So there's actually scripts that are in the workbook that are not in the book. There's a whole vendor script in there if you're doing any vendor events. There's a lot of tactics and tricks, and I expounded on a few things in the book that's only in the workbook. So if you don't have your hands on one of these things yet, I'd really recommend that you get it because it's awesome. It came out a lot better than I thought it would. And then I ran it by the team after, and they're like, yeah, that's really good. I called Amazon because they were going to charge me $9.99, even though I bought paperback, nice customer service adjusted, so I could get it for $2. Good, because they told us you could get it for $2 on Kindle if you'd already bought a hard copy of it. So that should apply to everybody all the time. So tonight, distractions. This is where I told you every leader's got an Achilles heel. Mine's probably time management. I think my husband would concur. That's probably my worst issue. But distractions is a very, very close second. Very, very close second for me. And I pretty much did everything you could possibly do wrong. Everything that you could do wrong, I have probably done it. Because I'm such a red personality, I jump from thing to thing to thing, so I didn't stay on that distraction very long. But I'm going to show you which things grow your business and which things just keep you treading water. So you might be on fire for the oils and you might have passion, but your business just is not growing and you don't know why it's not growing. So I'm going to tell you why your business isn't growing tonight. We're going to debunk a few things that you think might be helping you that really, truly are not helping you at all. Not helping you at all. So this actually was a quote from my editor. I was talking to her earlier today and she'd be like, Sarah, I'm in your training. Why did you do that to me? She's one of the ones that helped me with the editing of the book. 17 top-down edits on this thing. 17. And I know that you guys have found mistakes. I found mistakes in dictionaries that have been edited literally every year for 100 years. So every book is going to have mistakes in it. But if you come across stuff, please feel free to send it to oilabilitywithsarah@gmail.com. And when we put the second edition out, we'll do updates on some of that stuff. But yeah, it went through, we edited this book more than it took me to write it. and many, many people saw it. I mean, it went through many, many, many teams. So we put a lot of work work into it. But one of the things that my editor said to me was tonight's going to be great as well. She said it's one of the best chapters in the book. It's a place that a lot of people have epiphanies about why they haven't made progress. So that's my prayer over you guys tonight, is that you find your place where you're treading water and you're not moving forward. We're going to go through a lot of different things that you might be doing wrong. And I'm hoping that you can identify that spot where you're just not growing because you're putting your attention in the wrong place. So you may have read 192 aromatherapy books. You might have gotten 6 aromatherapy certifications. You might have gone to so many leadership conferences. I cannot, as a big Danny Johnson follower, John and I go to her stuff about every 6 weeks. So if you want to meet me and you're not going to be at a convention and you go to Danny Johnson, I'm probably going to be there. I'm a huge proponent of pouring into yourself and training your brain and leadership development and all of that, but not to the point where you don't do classes, okay? I cannot even tell you how many people I see at those conferences, whether it's Danny, whether it's Eric Worre's Momentum, whether it's Highest Potential. There's so many really good trainings out there. And I know that Danny would pull you aside, and Eric Worre would pull you aside, and Richard Blissbrook would pull you aside, and all of them would pull you aside and say, why aren't you teaching classes? Like, we told you the number one thing was prospecting, so why aren't you doing it? But people get so hung up in the leadership training that they don't move. Like, they don't do stuff. So I'm a big proponent in it. But if you get to a place where you realize that's taking the place of you running your business, then you need to dial back. All right. You need to dial back. You need to pray on what the Lord has for you. And I even use them as a reward for myself. Like, when I hit certain benchmarks and say, okay, I wanted to teach 4 classes this month. I got my 4 classes in. I'm going to reward myself with going away and doing some leadership training. It's a place that I pour into myself, but not at the expense of your business. If you're doing that instead of doing your business, then I don't believe that's what any of those leaders would tell you. Okay. There's a point where you got to get off the ground and apply some of the stuff you're learning when you're going to these things. And so it's just an area I've been convicted. I see a lot of members of my team get stuck. They go again and again and again. And I'm like, you're training with the best people in the world. How can you not be a diamond right now? Like, I haven't had as much training as you have. And I don't understand why you're not moving, why your business is like this. It's because they just get obsess over it and they don't move. They don't get off the ground. So you might have gone to so many leadership conferences that you could teach the conferences yourself, because you've had so much training. You might be caught up in doing make and take stores. You might be caught up in doing make and take classes, which you've heard my thoughts on make and take classes, right? I did it all of those things, every single thing that I'm calling you guys out on. I've done every single one of those things myself and gotten stuck in my business, every single thing. Marsha, I give the oils right when I'm about to go into the lecture. Everybody always asks me about the oils. I'm giving you a little preview right now. We'll get to the oils in a minute. All right. So I did all of it. This is the most important thing that I can tell you guys about your business right now. This is the most important thing. If this is the only thing you get from boot camp, this is what I want imprinted on your head forever and ever and ever and ever. There are only 3 things that grow your business. Only 3. Nothing outside of these three things will grow your business. You might grow yourself. You might develop new friendships. You might have neat experiences, by going to the farms and all that. You might have many, many good things happen to you, but there's only 3 things that will actually grow your business so that you can rank up, so that you can bless more people. That is teaching classes, doing follow-up and getting people on Essential Rewards so that you have built a foundation that you can build off of, and training leaders. Those are the only 3 things that grow your business. So if you look at how you're spending your time in the day and you're counting it towards your business hours, and it's not one of those 3 things, you just went through an entire business day and you didn't do anything for your business to grow it. All right. That would be like me going into the radio station to anchor news and sitting there for 8 hours and punching the clock and then walking out. I didn't write any news. Okay. So if you want the satisfaction of growing your business, you've got to do the things that actually grow your business. And so I'm going to give you a bunch of things tonight that are distractions that just like, they take you off to the left or they take you off to the right, but you're not actually growing. You're not moving. Basically, what you're doing is you're treading water. I have lost count of the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have written me since we started boot camp saying, I was a senior star for X number of years. I just hit executive, or I just hit star, or I've been a distributor for 19 years and I just ranked for the first time this month. It's because for 19 years, they weren't doing things that grew their business. They went in and they got raindrops done, or they, did a make and take class with people that didn't sign into their organization organization, or they went to leadership training, or they read a whole bunch of books on aromatherapy, or they went and got a certification. It doesn't grow your business. Okay? It doesn't grow your business. The only thing that grows your business is teaching classes, getting people on essential rewards, and raising leaders. So you've got to focus on those things. If your desire, your heart's desire this year is to get to the next rank, or maybe 2 ranks you want to hit this year. Maybe you're a star and you want to go executive this year, or maybe you're an executive and you got a goal by December of getting to gold, or maybe you're a platinum and you've got a goal this year of getting to diamond. You're sure that you're going to get to diamond this year. If you're not doing those 3 things, you will not get to your goal. You won't get there, okay? It has to be those 3 things, or you're just treading water. You're just treading water. So let me pause here for a moment. I'm going to give you the oils of the night, and then we're going to talk about personality types. Timothy, how many people do I personally enroll? You know, I don't know, because it varies based on how much I'm traveling. Sometimes I have different goals. I'm constantly, and this is something I'm going to write about in Game Plan too. You have to constantly watch your business and watch the ebb and flow of it, and watch your leaders, watch who's stagnating, watch who's taking off, watch who's frustrated, watch who doesn't need your leadership and that you can delegate to, people that you do need your leadership. So in some months where I have to pour heavy on my leaders, I might sign 4 people. 3 or 4 people. In some months where I'm out there teaching like crazy, I've signed 54 people in a month before, so it just depends. I think overall personally enrolled, I don't get a lot of credit for a lot of my personally enrolled, and I didn't write this in the book because I don't want to encourage you guys to do the same thing, but I will sign other people as sponsor and enroller a lot more than I do for myself, because I really like to encourage my leaders, and I like them to see the check, and I like to get them moving. So I'm probably around 400 to 450 personally enrolled in 2.5 years. But on low months, 3 or 4 people a month. On high months, even more. It just depends how much I'm traveling, how much I'm speaking, whether or not I'm writing a book, whether or not I have a month where I'm pouring into my leaders, and that has to be my focus, because my leaders are getting frustrated or discouraged, and that's more important than me teaching a whole bunch of classes in a month. So it depends on the month. I can't give you a really solid answer on it. I know that it's hard for me to track it because I've signed so many people and other people without taking the credit for it. But yeah. Okay, so let me give you the oil of the night for tonight. And then I want to talk about personality types just for a minute, because it's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot. I have a few oils, as I usually do. One of my favorites, especially since you guys are talking about teaching your first classes, which I'm so proud of you. I'm so, so proud of you guys. Good job. Great job. One of my favorites is Inner Child. This is a great oil if you're just like, I do not want to put one foot in front of the other. Like, if you're holding on to a lot of stuff and you got a lot of worry and doubt in the back of your mind, this is one of my favorite oils for that. I mean, really, it's just an awesome oil for that. Just get it in the diffuser and just start breathing it in. Also, energy. I think this helps me a lot with distraction. Also, I'll put this one in the diffuser. Rosemary. Very, very good oil. Really, really good oil if you're just like, squirrel. Wintergreen. I really like the mints, and I like the pine oils, the tree oils like your Idaho blue spruce, your balsam firs, all of that. And any of the mint oils, your wintergreen, your peppermint is another one. If you're a spearmint person, that one would work too. Those are just really good for just like, focus. I also like a lot of the spices. So cinnamon is very good for distraction. Nutmeg is very, very good for distraction. This oil is known for its adrenal support, for supporting that system of the body. Couple of my favorites, if I'm just basing it on my draw to the oil, I'm really, drawn to it. Genius is an oil I'm really drawn to. I really, really like this oil. It's one of my favorites. And Citrus Fresh is another one that I could diffuse this all day and never get tired of it. So those are some really good oils. If you're just, you're finding that you go to put time into your business and then you're doing something else. And then you put time into your business and you go do something else, right? Those are great oils for it. So energy, Inner Child, rosemary, wintergreen, peppermint, nutmeg, Genius, Citrus Fresh are the oils for this evening. Jen, you totally got it. Says our first class is next week. I know you can do this. I know you can. If I could show you guys, all right, you know what? I will. I'm going to show you guys my silvers. All right. When I get done tonight, I will put up one of my videos for you. We just had a silver retreat a couple of weeks ago, and I love showcasing my team. I love putting them in the spotlight and up on the stage. And so while I was there, I recorded a video with every single one of them, just 5 minutes long, where they share their story. I want you guys to look at the videos, because you're going to see how many of my silvers are shy. Like, there's so many shy silvers on my team. We have 14 of them on the team right now, and I think there's only 2 that are outgoing. The rest of them are very soft-spoken. Most of them have yellow personalities or green personalities, which is actually the standard. They tend to stick with stuff. They tend to be more tenacious. And so, I want to encourage you, because if it's your first class, it's all right. It's okay. Everybody's got to have a starting place and got to have a beginning. So let's talk about the personality types for just a minute. And I know that I discussed this earlier, but I'm going to throw you under the bus by personality type first. And then we're going to go on and we're going to talk about all the different distractions. So a really good book for personality types. Oh man, I know I'm going to say their name wrong again. Please forgive me, guys. You gave me that, you typed it out for me, and I know I'm going to say it incorrectly. So I'll just say Jacob's book. All right. His last name is Adamo. And I know it's not Adamo like Alamo, because I got reprimanded for that. So Adamo, I'm guessing. But Jacob's book, Full Spectrum Success, is a wonderful, wonderful book. He's got another book that goes with it here that just helps you to understand your personality types. Great, great resource. They really did a good job putting it together. But basically, there's 4 different types of personalities out there. Thank you. Adamo. Okay, hopefully I said it correct. Adamo. Did I do it? Okay, maybe not. Jacob. It's Jacob's book, and the name is Full Spectrum Success. All right. But there's 4 personality types out there. There's red, blue, yellow, and green. Or if you have followed the Danny Johnson model, which very closely follows Jacob's book as well, it's ruby, pearl, emerald, and sapphire are the personality types. I will tell you, I am almost 50-50 red-blue. So I'm more, just a smidge more red, which is how you guys got game plans. I'm very organized. I'm very structured. I'm very, very big education, advocate and stuff. And I love to put tools in your hands so you can do it. I want to get from point A to point B, but I've also been a network news anchor for 18 years. So that's the blue in me, the theater girl, the one that likes to talk and all of that. So you get kind of a mix of both of them. And the benefit to you is you have 25 boot camp videos to watch. If I wasn't a blue, you wouldn't have those. I would just write the book and I'd be done with it, right? Thank you guys for giving me the pronunciations. You guys are awesome. They're an amazing, amazing family. But so my personality is red-blue. So if I'm throwing red-blues under the bus, you know why? Because I'm picking on myself. Let me show you where your Achilles heels are. I'll just give you just a word to describe each of the color types. You kind of have an idea when you're listening what your personality type is. Reds are your leaders. They're very confident. They like to be out there. They like to be in the spotlight. They get things done. They're goal oriented, task oriented, from point A to point B, extremely competitive. Your blues are your fun. If they walk into a room, magnetic personality, they just soak you right in. Everybody wants to be around them. They're your best friend. They can be a little scatterbrained sometimes. They're the ones with the different colored socks. They're just in it for the fun, and they've got to see the fun in it. Okay, they got to see the fun in it. The greens have to have a system. They're very analytical, very logical. They're the NPR listening, save every box to everything that they have ever bought. Type of personality, and they need to understand where they're going, and they need to analyze it. They love Excel. I hate Excel. I hate the boxes, right? And my husband's like, but you can take the boxes out. I'm like, I don't like the boxes. I don't, even with the boxes gone, I can't handle it, right? And then there's yellows. Yellows, there has to be a way for them to serve. They're not going to glom onto it. They're not going to glom and like go with it unless there's a cause and there's a purpose and there's a reason for them doing what they're doing. So they have to see the end game. And if there's not a place for them to get a benefit for somebody else out of it, then they really don't want to move forward in it. And most people have one personality trait and then they have kind of a recessive one. Some people are all of them. All of them. Kristen, it's really funny you tell me why greens love the game plan, because it was funny that a red wrote it. Only because they wanted to help the greens, right? Get over the finish line so that they could rank up in their businesses. So let me tell you what your Achilles heel is for the distraction chapter. Matter of fact, if I do an update on the book, I'd probably include this in the book based on personality type. So reds, the thing that I see with the reds on our team is if they don't rank fast enough, they're constantly comparing themselves to the other people on the team. If they don't rank fast enough, it's squirrel. They're off to the next thing. They're the ones that hop from MLM to MLM to MLM to MLM because they would be really, really good at it, but they won't stick with it long enough to see the good in it. Or they're raising leaders and they give up on their leaders really fast because they're not moving as quick as they would like them to move. So they switch to a different leader instead and they go build under that leader. And then they go switch to another leader and they go build under that leader. And the next thing they know, they're not ranking silver because they have 5 legs that are at 2,000. Okay. Those are the reds. They're going to try to find the quickest way, and they do multiple systems. They're the ones that as soon as we finish game plan, they're going to go look for the next training system. Game plan works great. You got to rinse and repeat. That's the secret to having it work on your team is rinse and repeat. As soon as this ends, you got to start it again with other leaders. You got to pour into them the way that you've been poured into. If you want to get the full benefit out of this system, you have to duplicate it again and again. It can't just be for you. It's got to be for your leaders too. And it's got to be for their leaders. And it's got to be for the next level in your organization and the next level. That's how you succeed at this. Okay, so rather than jumping from system to system to system, stick with a system and move with it. All right, move with it. So reds, that's the biggest thing that I see with them is they don't stick with it long enough. Blues, if it's not fun, if it doesn't include make and take classes and social get-togethers and ways to liven it up a little bit, they don't want to do a lecture, they don't want to do a class, they want to do a party, you know, they want to have fun. If they can't find the fun element in it, then they walk away. But the reality is you are going to have to balance your budget for your business, and you are going to have to connect with people that maybe aren't that much fun, you know, and you are going to have no's, and things are not always going to be in that place of party all the time. There's a lot of hard work that has to happen behind the scenes. And so what I'll tell you is you're going to get distracted by things that don't grow your business. That's one of the big, Kristen says red struggle with all or nothing. It's true. It's true. Absolutely. And so the blues love the party, which is awesome. You can have the party, but you got to include the things in the party that grow your business. So if you're doing make and takes, you got to sneak a 101 in there somewhere, even if it's a 2-page mini 101, sneak it in so that they're getting some of the meat of why they want the oils. Otherwise, they're not even going to know that you're selling starter kits. Okay. They're going to walk out of your class. I cannot even tell you how many people I've signed to my team that went to a blues make and take class. Like, oh my gosh, probably hundreds of people. And the first thing they tell me is, I didn't even know they were selling Young Living. I had no idea, right? Because the blues are so about the party that they forget the message. You got to make sure the message is tucked in their blues. You can still have fun, but you got to get the message. And so with the distractibility chapter, you got to make sure you're doing the 3 things that grow your business. You can do them in a fun way, but they have to be growing your business. Otherwise, it's, all right, a mini 101. I actually wrote one of those. Maybe I'll find a way to upload it to the site so you guys have a mini version of it as well. Greens. If you don't have a system, you're lost. You're just lost. And so what I find with greens is a lot of paralysis by analysis. They don't move. You know, they'll sit there because they're not quite sure if that's the best way of doing it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Yellows, again, if they can't find a place to serve, they can't find purpose with what they're doing. So let me just speak to those things for just a moment, and then we're going to go into more in the distractibility here of it. Reds, stop basing your pace on other people's stories. Stop it. You're totally, completely unique. And God has given you amazing talents and gifts and things. There are people out there that literally can't be reached by anybody but you, Red. Okay. So you don't have to gauge yourself against the other reds that are out there. You don't have to gauge yourself against the blues that walk into a room and everybody falls in love with them. You don't need to be in that place where you're constantly stacking yourself up. Some of the best advice I can give you is if you want to know how your business is growing, instead of rating it against everybody else's OGV that you're seeing out there, go back 1 year in your business. If you go back 1 year in your business, although from boot camp, you're going to see a big spike if you're implementing those 3 things. You're going to see a huge spike this spring. But what I want you to do is go back over the last year, and after boot camp is over, give it a couple months. I want you to look and compare February to last February, and March to last March, and June to last June. Don't compare your June against some leader in your organization. Compare your June against your last June. Stack yourself up against yourself, not against the other people that are around you. That's a really, really good way as a red to focus and to find clarity and to be able to move forward without giving up because you're getting discouraged because you're not moving at the same pace that other people are moving at. All right. So blues, let me see if I got it. Your length to diamond, reds, let me tell you, your length to diamond, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. You guys hear me say that all the time. Your pace doesn't matter. I'm speaking to the reds out there, and I'm one of them. I'm one of the ones that was beating myself up for being a platinum for a year and 2 months. I'm like, why? Why do we hit every other rank in 5 months, and all of a sudden I've been at platinum for a year? It's because God had a reason for me being a platinum for a year. There were things he wanted me to learn at this rank that I wouldn't have learned if I hadn't sat here for a while, all right? It's true. I needed to grow a little bit. I wasn't ready for diamond. I wasn't ready for a diamond ship yet. God needed to stretch me a little bit farther so that I was prepared for that level of leadership. I think if you rank up too fast and you zing right through it, you find that you don't have the leadership skills that you need. Okay. Will reds advance more than other colors? Joyce, it totally depends on if they stick with it. or not. Do they have the tenacity? Oh, yeah. They've got the fight to rank really, really fast. Absolutely. We have multiple reds on our team that have gone silver in one. They literally went from executive to silver in less than 1 month. I was one of them. I did it in 18 days. I thought that was really cool. And then one of my leaders, who's a red, did it in 11 days. So I was like, all right, I stand corrected. Whenever my head gets a little big, God brings somebody beside me to like gut check me. so that it ain't no thing, right? Ain't no thing. But so typically reds can rank really fast. But what I find with reds is they rank and then they walk away. They'll hit executive and then they just walk away. So, you might be praying for more reds on your team, but not necessarily, because they don't always have the tenacity to stick with it. And this comes from a red, all right? I'm beating myself up here. So be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you pray for. So blues. Don't focus on things that don't grow your business. That's the best advice that I can give to the blue personalities out there. Classes, do 101s. All right. I know you love the make and takes. I know you love them. All right. Get the 101 in there somehow, all right? Focus on your leaders. The reason you're not growing is because you're not training your leaders. And you know what? If you're so blue that you really can't sit down and do boot camp with them, man, just give them the book. Just tell them to read the book, all right? Gift them the book and the workbook. You're a blue, you love giving gifts, okay? You love loving on people. So gift them the book and the workbook. And if that's as far as you go with this game plan training and passing to the next level, that's good enough. That's good enough. Just tell them to read it. Okay, they're going to get out of it what they need out of it. So pour into your leaders, get people on essential rewards. That's very hard for blues. Fallout can be hard because they live in the moment. They live in the moment of the class, but you've got to, because those are the only things that grow your business. People are going to come to you and say, I didn't know you were doing a business. I didn't know. I had no idea that you were doing it. So make sure you're plugging it. Greens, you have a system. You have game plan, okay? You've got it. So stop looking for other systems that work, all right? Just stop. You've already got one. Just implement. You live in the land of paralysis by analysis all the time, and you don't move. Just get the 101 script in front of faces. That's your task, all right? This month in February, get the 101 in front of faces. And if you're really nervous about who those faces are, start with your friends. Start with the people that are going to give you praise, even if you completely screw it up, all right? Do it to your mom. Your mom will give you a raving review on how amazing you absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark with your 101 class. So start with your comfort zone. And if you're green, you're never going to get out of the land of doing one-on-ones. And that's okay. That's all right. Just know it's going to take you a little longer to rank up if you're only teaching one-person classes all the time, but that's all right. All right, the pace doesn't matter. As long as you're out there and you're teaching and you're doing it, then you're still going to rank. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But the nice thing about a green personality is you're tenacious, you're faithful, you're loyal, you don't give up, right? You don't give up. So it's awesome. You got that going for you. That's why most of my leaders are yellows and greens, because they just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. So, Sarah says, I'm out of friends. Go back to the marketing chapter on here, because it really, truly, truly, truly works. So I would tell you, stop the paralysis by analysis. Stop judging yourself. Stop judging yourself, greens. You don't need to. You and the reds, man, both you guys live in the land of judging yourselves. Don't do that. As Marcella von Harding says, I love this quote from her, you are enough. You're enough, okay? You're enough. You don't need to be more. You don't need to be better. You don't have to be able to speak better. You don't have to be able to stand in front of large groups of people to do this. You don't have to have a boatload of friends. You're right, Anna. It doesn't have to be a marathon. Those are expectations you're putting on yourself that are not in this book anywhere. They're not in here, okay? Because there are a lot of diamonds out there that don't have large friend circles, that are not outgoing, okay? They just didn't give up. They just didn't give up. So just stick with it. All right, stick with it. And please allow yourself the room to not judge yourself. You got a great system here. Just implement it. When you have a new leader, turn around and sell a starter kit, give them the mini. All right. Anybody who sells a kit on my team gets a mini. Every single month I give them the mini. Let's just gauge their interest in doing the business. Somebody who hits star, they hit star on my team, they get game plan. All right. Every single person that hits star on my team gets game plan. And even right now, I make sure that all my silvers, when this came out, before we even put it on Amazon, all of my silvers had a copy in their hands immediately, right away, because I want to pour into my leaders. All right. So it's a system that works. It's duplicatable. It's very, very simple to follow. Yellows. Oh, yellows. If you could see how you could serve if you grew your business. If you could see, I cannot even tell you how many yellows I've had say, I don't need that income. I don't need that much. I don't need to be silver. An executive is fine for me. I'm all right. I'm okay. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Maybe the business is about more than you. Maybe it's about your family. Maybe it's about your son that's going to need a willable income 10 years from now that you don't even know. Okay. Maybe it's about the people and the paths that you're going to cross and the leaders on your team that so desperately need your leadership. But because you're not out there teaching, you're not pulling them into your organization, and they need you bad. They need you. You're going to pull them from some really, really dark places, really dark places. So stop. Okay. Stop putting limits on your business and on what you're telling God you're willing to do. That's not okay. And he's not going to grow your business if you're putting him in a box. All right. Because you're saying, hey, the God of the impossible that can do impossible things. Yeah, senior star is good enough for me. Maybe he needs you at Diamond because there's people that have to be blessed. They have to be blessed. Now, Young Living understands the concept of this because they've got humanitarian trips. If you go out to the farm, when you make platinum and they fly you out to Ecuador, you're going to spend an entire day with those kids at the $200 million school that Gary built for them. You're going to drive past the slums every single day, and you're going to get to see how those families are living. You've got the Young Living Foundation where you can give generously. You can round up to the nearest dollar every single time you place an order, whether it's an ER order, quick order, doesn't matter. And if everybody did that, they'd have another $500 million a month that they could pour into all of these humanitarian projects they've got going on, the ones in Nepal and Uganda, African Hearts, the Souls of Hope Project. With the shoe cutting or cutting for the shoes. There's so many projects Young Living does that are so perfectly designed for yellows where you can pour into it. But I want to tell you that does not give you the license to not grow your business. There's a reason that the Lord has brought this business to you. There's a reason, because there's people that need to be blessed, and they're not going to be blessed if you aren't out there teaching classes. You have to, okay? So don't get so distracted with the philanthropy that you're not working with your own philanthropic circles. And what I mean by that, I had a missionary once. I told her when I was like 19 years old, I went on a missions trip to Standing Rock, North Dakota. And that was where I really deeply got saved, was when I was 19. And I just did a total 180 on my faith. And I said, God, everything I am belongs to you. All my choices belong to you. You tell me to go left, I'll go left. You want me to go right, I'll go right. And we've continued jumping ship for him since I was 19 years old, 20 years. All right. We jumped ship. He told us to leave everything we knew and move across the country to New York to work for a Christian ministry. And we did it 9 years ago. And we've been so blessed. But one of the things that got poured into me when I was on the missions trip, I was talking to a missionary and I said, I want to go to China. I want to go to India. I want to do some serving in Papua New Guinea. I want to go to Haiti. Like, I have this list of all these places I want to go. And he goes, Sarah, what about the homeless guy on your street? What about the family that doesn't have enough right in your home, right in your neighborhood? What about the families in your church that don't come into the sanctuary and stand outside the back of the sanctuary because they have dirty clothes on because they can't afford clothes, and they feel weird because they've got stains and holes in their clothes? What about those people? And it really convicted me to bloom where I'm planted. And it doesn't, please don't hear my heart wrong. It doesn't mean you're not supposed to do missions trips to those places. Of course you are. But I believe that God's got a mission field for you right where you are also. He's got it for you right where you are. So Pearls, will you let me speak to you in that place where I'm saying, just because all of these philanthropic areas exist in Young Living that you can give to, there's a reason the Lord brought a Young Living business to your lap, because there are people that aren't on your team yet that are supposed to be there, and they're not going to get there if you're not out there teaching classes, okay? Training your leaders and doing follow-up and getting people on essential rewards. They're not going to have the blessing of being part of your organization and seeing that heart that you have to serve and to serve them and to pour into them. They're not going to see that if you're not running your business. Okay. So just like I tell you with getting distracted with a leadership training, you can get distracted with philanthropy also, because sometimes the philanthropy the Lord has for you is literally right within the four walls of your house, or right within your own street, or right within your own organization, or right within your friend circles that you're teaching to. So don't discount what God can do in those places, is what I would say. And you have a business for a reason. You have a business because God brought it to you. So do something with it. Okay, grow, do something with it. You have a system. You have a system. And if you're not going to stand in front of groups of people, it's okay. It's all right. Send them the book. Send them the book and get them trained. Okay, get them trained. So that's what I would tell you for distraction based on personality types. Now let's get a little bit deeper into the distraction chapter. Hopefully that helped a little bit of you guys. This is something that's not in the book that I just really felt convicted to share with you guys tonight, because I can see it on each of my leaders on my teams. on my legs as we're heading into our diamond month right now. And I look over it and I can see where their weaknesses are. I can see my weaknesses as well. You just got to teach, guys. You got to teach classes. That's what's going to grow your business. So whatever your Achilles heel is, whatever, based on your personality type, yeah, it's your harvest year, but you're not going to have a harvest if you're not teaching. So I want to see you guys doing 4 to 6 classes a month. You need to be. So, all right, here are the 6 pitfalls that I put in chapter 23 that you need to watch out for. And I'm sure there are other pitfalls more than just these pitfalls, but these are the ones that I see on our team. These are the big ones. These are the really, really big ones. I wasn't Standing Rock. Yeah, but that was when I was 19 years old, Donna. That was 20 years ago. So number 1, spending more than you make. Spending more than you make. Number 1, it's going to cause marital strife. Your husband is going to be very, very angry with you with what you're spending. If your paycheck is $80, then you got $80 to work with that month. And that means that if you got a great leader that you can see in Canada, you don't have the gas money to get to Canada right now to go teach them. So what do? You Skype with them. You do a Zoom call with them. You Facebook Live them, okay? You pick up the phone and you call them, but you do not put $200 in your gas tank when you got an $80 Young Living paycheck. You don't do that. You don't do that because God is not going to honor that. That's poor financial stewardship. So you got to work within the boundaries of what you've been given to work with, okay, to work with. And I'd really, really encourage you to pray on that. A wonderful resource for that is the guy who is actually shipping out all those minis to you guys. We have placed the order. We had to up it. 40,000 wasn't enough. We surpassed 40,000 books today. So thank you. Now we have to place an order for 60,000 books. So I love this. Journey to Health and Wealth is his book, is by Steve Sheridan. And his website, if I can find it on here, j2hw.com, j2hw.com. I think Nancy's on here and she can type that out so you guys can see it. But I'd really encourage you guys to get that in your hands. We call him the Dave Ramsey of Young Living because he's just so good at taking Young Living ease and putting it in a way that you can understand. Steve is a very gifted speaker. His wife, Nancy, a blue personality and a woman after my own heart. I absolutely adore their family. Like, I love them deeply. But I'd really encourage you to pick it up if finances is an area you're struggling with, because I believe that if you're faithful with the small things, that God's going to give you more. He's going to grow your check and you will have no explanation for it. You're not going to understand why your check is getting bigger, and it's because you're being faithful. So you've got to be faithful to the small things for God to give you a larger portion so that you can pour more of that into your business. Somebody said, what if it's a business expense? Let me give you a good example. I had, within a few weeks of doing my business, I got a reputation of being the oils lady in the area. And so there was a class that I taught that I had 47 people in my living room. I have a 1,300 square foot house. This is a little tiny house. And we had it packed to the hilt. I didn't have any business cards. And I didn't have the money because I didn't have my first paycheck yet to order business cards. So I typed out my information on a piece of paper and I cut it out and I handed it out to people as business cards. One of the ladies in the class thought it was so funny that she went home, she made me a professional business card, printed it with her color toner and her ink, and brought me 200 business cards until my first paycheck came, and then I ordered them for $20 off Vistaprint. But I didn't have a paycheck yet, and I was really convicted not to be spending more than what I had when I first started. So I used these little cutout things, and then the Lord blessed me with a woman who made them for me. I actually still have the first business card she made for me, and it was a funny joke, that we just weren't going to go farther beyond what the Lord had given us yet. So I would tell you, even if it's a business expense, man, weigh it carefully. Okay, weigh it carefully, because God is going to bless the things that you touch if you're faithful with how you're spending stuff. So I'm really convicted on it. I really encourage you to pick up Steve's book, Journey to Health and Wealth. j2hw.com is the website. You can get that. All right. Number 2, wanting education up front. This is a thing that, oh man, does this kill people? Absolutely kills people. Come on, guys. What this comes down to is pride. It really, truly is a pride issue. It's a heart issue. Ignore all the stupid bloggers out there who think that you have to know 100 years of aromatherapy to share oils. It's dumb. Okay, it's dumb. And I addressed this earlier on. Does the barista at Starbucks know everything about where the coffee beans are sourced? No. Does the seller at Barnes & Noble know everything about every title in the Barnes & Noble store? No. And we wouldn't expect them to. So why do we put that expectation on a Young Living distributor? That's stupid. Just get really good at knowing third-party tools. Get good at knowing the tools. Point them to the tools. All right, point them to the tools. If you don't know the tools, I've got a lot of them listed in the game plan book. You can ask your upline for the tools that they use. You've got very gifted uplines as well. They pour into you, so just ask them. Ask him if you don't know the answer. But gosh, you don't have to know everything to do this business. Ignore that. All right. And wanting to know everything is truly prideful. Before you're going to start your business, God's given you the business to help you. It's your way out. It's your lifeboat. Okay. It's your lifeboat. So Kristen says she dumped her aromatherapy certification before. Man, aromatherapy schools across the world are going to hate my guts after this boot camp, especially since I'm a certified aromatherapist. They're like really going to hate my guts. But I'll tell you guys, man, if I could go back and change what I did now, if I took all those hours that I had taken and poured into all those tests that I took and all the aromatherapy books that I studied and all the time, if I had taken 1/10 of that and put that into my business, we probably would be Royal Crown Diamond right now, to be honest with you. So you got to ask yourself what your goal is. If your goal is you need this to save you, you need this income so your husband can retire or so you can retire or so you can put your kids in a Christian school or so you can eat better for your family, or your son is 17 years old and you still haven't gone on a family vacation yet and you really want to get one in before he's gone and your kids start leaving the nest, whatever your why is, stop the aromatherapy certifications and focus on your business so you can get there. Okay, because the aromatherapy certifications are not going to get you there. They literally get you nothing. Okay, they get you nothing. There will be a season in your life where you can pursue those things when you have the time to do them. But right now, your focus is on this business and growing this business. And so if you're off doing those things, you're not growing your business. All right, you're not growing your business. So don't do that. Let's see, what else do I have on your wedding? Would I get my certifications again? Probably not. Does it not mean I'm not a huge advocate of education? I am, but not if it takes away time from growing your business. Okay, that's number one. What do you need to grow your business? You need passion. You need a passion for oils. That's it. I mean, that's it. Okay, that's it. You just share your story. Share what you've seen. Share your passion with people. You don't need to make it complicated with certifications. And if you do that, then your leaders are going to feel like they need them too. And then they're all going to go try to get certified. And then nobody's growing on your business. And you're just staying at the same OGV forever because everybody feels like they have to copy what you're doing because you're setting the standard on your team that they have to have all these certifications, right? And they're not living within their business budget because they can't afford it. So there's like 15 reasons why you shouldn't do that at the beginning of your business. All right. I think the purest stories that I hear are the ones that are from the heart and not out of a book. They're the ones where it's just coming straight from the person who's talking directly to me. And if you don't know the answer, look it up. All right, just look it up. That's as hard as it gets. That's as hard as this gets. You don't need to be the expert. You don't need to be the expert. And if you are the expert, then you're coaching your team that they have to be the expert too. And that's very, very bad. And it's going to stagnate your business. And you're going to have a really hard time raising leaders because the standard is so high that nobody on your team can hit that. Nobody on your team can copy that, okay? Don't put your standards so high that nobody can copy it. That's one of the neat things about this system. Do you know how you copy it? You go to Amazon and you hit purchase. That's it. That's it. It's a really simple system. Nobody's got to be a rock star teacher to teach game plan. You just got to get the book in their hands. That's it. They read it, they pull out of it what they need, and they grow in the areas they need to grow. If they really get a kick out of doing the videos, point into the videos if they want all of it that they can get. But this is it. You don't need a 4-year degree. You don't need a master's. You don't need a PhD. You don't need $200,000 in student loans out. All right. You don't need to read 72 books on network marketing. You don't have to go to every single leadership training conference out there on the earth. You don't have to read 192 aromatherapy books. You don't have to go for aromatherapy certifications. Literally, all you need to do this is your starter kit and your script. That's it. That's it. And many a diamond have made it on a starter kit and a script. And that's it. And they didn't make it because they had a degree in network marketing. I don't even know if there is a degree in network marketing, right? It's kind of like radio. You can't get a job in radio unless you've got a good voice, right? Unless you could be witty and have a good voice. There's no college out there that's going to teach you how to be good in radio. You just got to have it, right? The nice thing about network marketing is you can use any personality type in it. I have all of them on my team, almost in equal amounts, So you don't need the education background to be able to do this. And as a matter of fact, the most successful people that I see in it don't have the education background. I look at the Royal Crown Diamonds that are out there. Good grief. Terry Seacrest got to Royal Crown Diamond by recording cassette tapes and getting on her saddle on her horse and going from house to house and handing the cassette tapes out. That's how she got to Royal. It wasn't because she had a degree in it. All right, so look at the Royals. Look at their stories. If that's where you want to get, that's where you want to be. If diamond's where you want to get, where you want to be, I don't know too many people out there that have all these titles after their name that are at that rank. I don't have all those titles after my name. I don't have a, PhD in network marketing. I wrote a book on network marketing that's an Amazon bestseller, and I didn't even do it before Young Living. I literally have 2 years experience, and we're an Amazon bestseller, okay? So that tells you how much experience you need to be able to do this. You literally don't. All right, you don't need to have, oh, good, Rita. I love that there's a couple of Terry's people on here. I love Terry. Her daughter, Elizabeth Rose, is a really good friend of mine. We were whitewater rafting buddies on the Gold Retreat together. We've been homies since then, so I just love her. Matter of fact, Elizabeth Rose is in my book. There's a photo of her in my book. So please stop putting the bar up here for your team, because I think the biggest thing that's going to happen is you're not duplicatable. And if you're not duplicatable, you don't have a team. Okay, you don't have a team. If they can't copy what you're doing, you don't have a team. Game plan's easy because you just get the book. That's it. All right, they don't have to be this amazing rock star to do game plan. They just got to read. That's it. I'm a rock star. Thank you, Rita. I think you're a rock star too. So the next one, this one's going to hit a few people. This is going to hit a few of you. So bear with me for a minute. Getting involved in more than one multi-level marketing company. Trying to do more than one at a time. Guys, for Young Living, I'm pouring into my leaders. I'm doing retreats. I'm doing rallies now with Young Living every 12 weeks. I'm coaching. I'm holding my own classes. All right. Even if you're just out there teaching classes and training your leaders, how the heck can you do that for 2 MLMs? That's like 2 full-time jobs. And if you're a mom or you're a wife or you got anything else on your plate at all outside of Young Living, if you still have a job that you're working, how could you do that? With 2 MLMs, you can't, okay? You can't juggle both of them. What's going to end up happening is you're going to be the jack of all trades and master of none. You're not going to rank in either of the MLMs. I have seen it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I have coached people on it. Pick one. I don't care which MLM you pick. I would prefer it be Young Living. I think it's the best one out there. But you know what? If your heart and passion is in something else, then go with the something else. But do it with all your might. Do not do it. Sarah Jordan says, and most is not legal. Technically, it is legal under federal law to be in more than one MLM as long as you're not recruiting from one into the other. The first day that you call somebody on one of your teams and you get them on your other team, then you just broke federal network marketing laws. And yeah, then you're in serious trouble, like could go to prison trouble. All right, if you're recruiting from your other team, very bad, because it's not just your team. Because of how network marketing works, you're actually stealing from the people above you also if you're in more than one MLM. So very dangerous, very, very dangerous to be doing 2 at the same time. You have to keep your friend circles completely, totally separate, and there cannot be any overlap in them. So, but the biggest thing is, how can you run 2 MLMs successfully? You can't. All right, you can't. So if you've got your hand in 2 pots, yeah, you can't ride 2 horses and expect to win the race. Exactly. You guys' metaphors are like off the charts, really good. All right, I'm going to add some of those to the book. So yeah, you can't do it. All right, so what do I do for my friends in other MLMs? I get asked this a lot. Sarah, you're in an MLM. What do you do when somebody wants you to host a Pampered Chef party? What do you do when somebody comes to you and they want you to buy their leggings? You know, what do you do? What do you do when somebody wants you to host a Norwex party? The first thing that I'll do, my rule of thumb is I don't host. Okay, I don't. The reason I don't do that is because it confuses the tar out of my leaders. And so I'll sit down with the other MLMer and I'll just sit down and say, listen, I support you 100%. And I absolutely will buy from you to support your family business. So give me the catalog. I'll even come sit in your class. And I will ask people to come to your class, okay? I will sit down and I will go to your class. Give me your catalog. I will buy all the towels. I will buy all the rags, okay? I will buy all of the leggings, but I cannot host a class for you, because if I host it and I'm inviting people off of my friends list to come, they are completely confused. It's like working at McDonald's and then going over and working at Burger King. Okay, you get completely lost. So go and attend them, support your friends, buy their stuff. You want them to buy your stuff, buy their stuff. But I would really discourage against hosting, because your leaders are going to get completely turned around. They're going to be like, okay, wait a second. So she was hosting Norwex this week, but we're doing a Young Living class like next week. Like, is she doing Norwex or is she doing Young Living? I don't understand. Then they're going to think that it's okay for them to go do the same thing. They're going to copy your behaviors. And now you got a really scattered team all over the place. They don't understand which pond you're fishing out of. Okay. So attend them, don't host them. Fair enough? Fair enough? All right. And your leaders in the other MLMs should understand that. They really should. They should get it because they're in the same boat that you're in. So just say, hey, I support you. I will support you to the end of the earth. I believe in what you're doing, and I believe network marketing is a good business model to break families out of financial bondage. It works. I'm living proof of it. I'm going to support you as far as I possibly can, but I can't host for you because it's going to confuse my team. All right. And they'll understand that. So number 4, building a storefront. Oh, man. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. So building a storefront. First off, it's illegal. Okay, if you go to policies and procedures, Young Living does not like it. Does not like it. Why? Because the minute that you open one of these bottles and you pour it into other things and then you sell that product, whether you're making candles or soap or bath scrubs or lotions or salves or whatever you're making out there, the minute that you put their stuff in there, then you've broken the tampering rules and they can be sued. If you're making products out of their stuff, okay, they can go back to them if somebody gets hurt or somebody gets sick. That's why you're not allowed to do it. It's in policies and procedures. You can't do that. If you do it, you cannot put that it's Young Living oil on the side of it. If you're a soap maker and you're out there making soap, I'd really encourage you to do Young Living business because it's like the best decision I ever made in my life. I would put the soap down and go teach 101 classes, but that's beside the point. If you're a soap maker and you're making soap, don't put citrus fresh on there, okay? Don't put thieves on your soap. You can say cinnamon and you can say, clove and lemon because those are names that apply to every oil out there, but you cannot talk about the different oils, okay? Can you sell Young Living products in a store? You can. Christine, you can, but let me tell you why that's not a good idea. All right. This business model of network marketing is the best business model on the planet. It is the best business model on the planet. You do better when other people under you rank up. Okay. You grow when you train leaders. You grow your organization while you're teaching people how to use oils, which are the purest substances on the earth. Why would you want to go into retail? Why would you want to have a storefront and have to pay for merchandise, stock the merchandise, get merchandise to people? Young Living does all that for you. You don't have to do it. It literally goes from the farm to the warehouse 3 miles away in Spanish Fork and then straight to people's door. Like, you don't have to be the person handling the product. You don't need to do that. That doesn't grow your business. It does not grow your business. I swear to you, I have a leader on my team right now with an OGV of 10,000. Who could be a silver, who only runs a storefront. And the reason they have it is because people came into their business, they bought the oil, they fell in love with it, and they started the business. They haven't trained them, they haven't done anything with them. That person could totally be a diamond right now if they would drop carrying and stocking the oils and just teach classes. Yes, Young Living does allow professional accounts. Young Living allows a lot of things that I don't really advocate for because I don't think that it grows your business very quickly. Professional accounts, I believe, were set up for the person that already has a salon, is a massage therapist, has a spa, has whatever, and they want the oils in their window, and they don't understand the business aspect of Young Living or where it goes. But for people that are out there that are teaching classes, man, just focus on your classes. You don't need to bring the oils to class with you and sell them. Don't do that. You know what that's going to do if people come to the class and they buy the oils from you? They're not going to get a starter kit. Remember we talked about you want to funnel them all through the starter kit. They get the starter kit. They get 24% off their oils for life. Don't you want that for them rather than them walking out with a bottle of Citrus Fresh? We're not training them to be lifelong oilers unless they get the starter kit. They've got 11 oils to pick from. If they come into your class and they buy one oil off of a shelf, you've just enabled them not to buy the kit. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. Now, the exception that I would make to this rule would be the person who's on the fence, who really, really, really wants to try something but isn't sure yet. And $160 is a lot for them to slap down. So what I do in my classes to get around that without having a store is I will make up thieves cleaner bottles. I'll make up caps of thieves cleaner. It costs me $1 to make those up. And I will invest $1 into those people that come to my class. So if they have never, ever used oils before, I will make up thieves cleaner and I will give it to them for $1. Young Living has a policy that you can charge for your supplies. So if your spray bottles cost $1 and you want them to drop the buck so that it doesn't cost anything to you to be able to offer that, then I'll do that and I'll have them go, and I just tell them, go home and wipe your kitchen down. You're going to fall in love with the oils tonight, and I want to see you pop up in my organization with a starter kit tomorrow. Okay? And some people might need a little extra nudge past that. Somebody might come to you and want to try some of the Cool Azul pain cream, or they may want to try a couple of different things. Do I give samples? Sometimes. I don't set that as the standard in my class because I found that people generally will get the kit from the lecture. Generally, the lecture's enough. And if I give them a bottle of thieves cleaner that they can go home and wipe their kitchen down with, usually that's enough to push them over the edge. So I don't stock samples because, again, if they've got it, they're less likely to go and get the kit. All right. And I want them to go get the kit. So everything needs to funnel back to the kit. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Don't be a retail salesperson. You're not a retail salesperson. You're a network marketer and you have the blood of a diamond and you need to act like a diamond and get out there and teach classes. Stop stocking oils in your classes. That's undermining your ability to sell starter kits. What about selling oils at a vendor show? Yeah, I think it's a really bad idea. I wouldn't do it. I would stock some thieves cleaner and I would hand that out. I would hand out the 101. Matter of fact, I'm doing a really big vendor show in a few weeks here. We've got 2,500 women that are going to be at the vendor show. And we were the only retail booth invited. Everybody else in the entire place is not for profit. We're the only retail that was invited to a college. It's for a Proverbs 31 Ministries event. And they just said, hey, we've seen how you run your business. It honors the Lord and you're welcome here. So we were invited to come out. Do you know what I'm bringing with me? I'm bringing Thieves Cleaner and I'm bringing Burned 101 audio CDs or Chemical Free Homes. And I just hand them out like candy. And I'm handing out these $1 game plan mini books like candy at the vendor events. What do? I'll do some kit flipping at vendor events. So I'll have maybe 5 kits if it's a really big event and I'll keep them behind the table. And if they want to sign right there, I have an extra person helping with the event. They'll sit down and they can take the kit home with them right away that day. The kit flipping I will do because you can assign the kit to them before they leave. All right. But selling oils, no. Not really, because we want to funnel them back to the kit. So always be pushing for the starter kit instead. Hopefully that answers your question. So building a storefront, don't do that. All right. Young Living discourages it. The Proverbs 31 event is at Houghton College, and I think it's April 22nd. It's the day of the rally. So Young Living encourages you to share your oils by giving you bottles in your starter kit. So you can give a couple of samples out. But if you must share, do the Thieves Cleaner. That's really, really cheap. And hand out capfuls in a spray bottle for free. But don't build a store. You don't need to stock dryer balls and roll-ons and creams and salves and sell bottles of oil. Man, you're putting a lot of time into something that if you were to just grow your business, oh my word, if you took the time that you are putting into building a store and you trained your leaders or you went and you taught classes, your organization would grow like crazy from the time that you're spending stocking your store. Don't do that. Kit flipping, yes. So what kit flipping is you can get on, you can purchase a premium starter kit, and then when they get on, you can assign the kit to them. So when they go and they sign up for their kit, Young Living has a policy that allows you to assign the kit that is to them. Yes, exactly. Any member can purchase additional starter kits as well. So I will do that when I'm at vendor events for people that want to walk out with the kit right there. Okay, right there. It works really, really well. But again, what are we doing? We're pushing to the kit. We're not selling individual bottles of oil. We're not doing that. I really discourage against doing that. You're undermining that. You're undermining yourself. You're undermining your business. So the 5th thing is getting on Facebook and wasting time. Who did this today? Give me a high five if you got on Facebook today and you wasted time when you could have been poured into your, I know if I could hit it on my own thing, I would do it for myself too. I totally did this today. All right. So yeah, getting on Facebook. Oh my gosh. It's like one of my Achilles heels. So remember that chapter on balancing your business. Do you remember that? Yeah. So what I want you to do is make your list of 3 things that you need to do for the next day. Use some self-control and don't touch the computer until you've done your 3 things. Okay? Until you've done your 3 things. So, don't do that. Don't do that. You can get on Facebook, but not until your responsibilities are done. So that's one of the fruits of the spirit, self-control, right? Self-control. So it's not that you can't get on Facebook. It's just if you have a list of, I need to move a member, I need to touch base with this new leader, and I've got to get this thing in the mail. Then you do those 3 things, and then you can sit on Facebook all day mindlessly with absolutely no guilt at all. And it's totally okay. But if you have not done those 3 things that you made for yourself to do from the balancing your business chapter and your boundaries that we talked about and self-control, do not get on Facebook. It will suck your life. It's going to suck your life out of you. So don't do that. All right. Don't do that. Classes are going to be my top 3 things. Thank you. I appreciate that. So getting on Facebook, don't touch the computer until your list is done. Make it a reward. Do it as a reward for yourself. Number 6, not setting regular business hours for yourself. Now, the Sapphires, I might be speaking way beyond what you can do. Okay, way beyond. You're like, Sarah, regular business hours. That means that I'm on from 1 to 2. But what if at 1 o'clock I see a blue butterfly outside and I want to go chase that butterfly? I'm going to go chase that butterfly, Sarah. I'm going to go chase that butterfly. And I'm talking to you like that because I'm a sapphire also, so I get it. So if you're sapphire and you can't do the 1 to 2 thing, all the greens are sitting there rolling their eyes at all the blues right now. I can see it. I can see it on all the greens' faces right there. They're like, oh my gosh, just do it. Right? But the blues just legitly cannot stick to the clock and like do it that way, right? It's okay. It's all right. So blues, all right? Just find a time during the day, a time where you can do your business, all right? A time. It may not be 1 to 2. Now, emeralds, you're going to set the timer, and when 12:59 comes, that clock is going to hit. And if you were in the middle of a prayer with somebody and you're a weeping mess and the clock changes and it's 2:01, you're going to say, sorry, my business hours are over, right? I'm totally stereotyping you guys here. Don't let me do that. You can go ahead and kick my butt on it, all right? It's all right. So if you're a blue personality and sticking to the clock is not your strength, it's all right. Just find a time during the day, all right? Make sure that you're committing time during the day. So fair enough? Fair enough. And if you guys are reds, greens, yellows, you guys can follow directions really well. So, make sure you got set business hours and you're pouring into your time. My littles know to hide out when I'm working. Have you guys heard anybody in my house right now? No. I got kids all over this house right now. They know if they interrupt me while I'm doing this, I'm going to lay them flat on the ground. Okay. They will be done. They will lose all their devices. They will not see their friends. It is over for them. Okay. Over, because this is my business time. Now, when I'm doing school, I'm not doing business. I'm not training my leaders. My leaders know, don't contact me in the morning, because you know what I'm doing in the morning? I'm raising my children. That's when I'm pouring into my babies. They know that if I'm on a walk with my husband, which I take every single night at about 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm probably not going to take their call, because we walk every single night as a family together. It's one of the things that we did when I retired from radio. So I'm not going to answer you then. All right. So I have very set times set aside for my family. You guys see me doing this boot camp and you're like, she's crazy. She's committed so much time to this boot camp, but you don't see what goes on behind the scenes to honor my family, to make sure that they're taken care of. All right. Make sure you're honoring your family and you got that time set aside, and make sure that you're honoring your business. Usually as mommies, we get mommy guilt if we have not been out there honoring our family. We cannot do that very long without feeling really, really bad. But it is stunning to me how long people can go without honoring their business clock. I mean, stunning. It always ends up being the last thing on the list. It can't, guys. If you want to rank up this year, you got to commit time to your business. You have to. You have to. Your number one task next week, starting Monday, start training your teams on this, okay? Start training your leaders. Commit time to training your leaders and start the next cycle and the next 5-week boot camp with your teams. All right. I'm giving you instructions right now. Start training them. You've got to pass the torch on to the next level of leadership in your team. If you want to see the fruit from doing this boot camp, you've been poured into, now they have to be poured into, and then they have to pour also, or the duplicatable system doesn't work. All right. Or it doesn't work. So not setting regular business hours. So my littles know when to hide out when I'm working. And likewise, I respect them during school and I respect them during our family time. One of the reasons I believe that we've grown so fast is because I am consistent with dedicated business time every single day. Every day I have dedicated time. Every night before I go to bed, I make a list of the 3 things that I've got to get done the next day. My husband knows because I give him a list also. He's my emerald. He gets up and the first thing he says is, okay, what's on the list today, Sarah? What's on the list today? What's the thing that you want me to do? And I just hand him the list because I've already thought it out. I already know when I go to bed what my thing is for the next day. Number 7 is training other teams. You're going to get burned out. Okay. You're going to get fried and burned out. So it's one of the reasons why I wrote Game Plan. If somebody comes to you and they're a cross-line friend and you love them to pieces, say, listen, I want to come teach for you. I want to pour into you, but it takes all of my energy to divide myself between my family business and between my children. So here's a way that I can pour into you. Go on Amazon and get this. Okay. This is it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of training all in one little book. It's tight, it's concise, and it gets you where you need to go. Oh, and here's a link, oilabilityteam.com, and bam, you can go watch all the videos and Sarah will train you on how to do this and do it right. All right. So I'd really tell you just to avoid burning out, watch which classes you're saying yes to, make sure they're on the right legs, that you're not working with your really strong leaders and leaving your weak leaders in the dust so that you're going to rank up. Watch what you need. If your OGV is low, but your legs are there, then you're not teaching enough classes. If your OGV is high, but your legs aren't there, then you're not pouring into your leaders or you're not doing enough follow-up. Okay. It's always one of those 3 things. So look at where your weakness is on the team, and that's where you should be spending your time. That's where your time needs to be gone, all right? I'm torn about having Crosslines on our boot camp. It's okay if they're on your boot camp. The rule that I do with Crossline on my boot camp is I just don't give them my awards. So I'm doing boot camp with my team. We've got hundreds of people on my team on the boot camp as well. My leaders know that when they finish, I'm gifting them 2 books and 2 workbooks because I want them to turn around right away and go train 2 leaders on their team. I even opened that up to everybody because we have 20,000 people on this, and John and I would lose our house and go bankrupt if I did that for everybody, right? But my leaders know what my expectation is for them. And my Crossline friends that join in know, hey, I'm not able to offer the contest awards to you, but absolutely you can tap into the training and get poured into. We love you. You're our family. All right. So hopefully those will give you some places, and maybe you guys got a little convicted on some of those things today, because these are just the biggest things that I see on our team where people get distracted. Spending more than you make, really good way to lose your family business, cause a lot of strife in your family. Wanting education up front, to the point where you're not running your business. The third thing was getting involved with more than one MLM and spreading yourself too thin. The fourth thing is building a storefront. The fifth thing is getting on Facebook or any social media and wasting time. The sixth thing is not setting regular business hours for yourself. You expect it to happen, but you're not putting any time in. And then number 7 is you're spending a lot of time with your Crossline friends or pouring into people that don't really have any interest in the business, while your people that do need the coaching are being left high and dry. So make sure you're paying attention to where you're putting your time. All right. Pay attention to where you're putting your time. Whew. All right. We've made it through 23. Those are the distractions. It's one of my favorite chapters because Reds love to get from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time possible. And so when I see people doing this, I'm like, we talked about that. It's in the distraction chapter, right? So hold yourself accountable, and getting the Audible book, which is not out yet. I checked right before I came on. Getting the Audible book will be really good for that because it's going to train your brain on what you need to be focused on. So your homework for tonight is to read through that chapter. There's a lot of stuff in there that I did not go over. Make sure you're reading through that. And then also chapter 23 in your game plan workbook. Avoiding distractions. So some of the things I've got you doing in the workbook today, take a few moments and write down the top distractions that I see among business builders. Be honest. Do you fall into any of these categories? Tell me where you stumble, and then tell me what you can do to change it. Tell me what you need to do and what your biggest distraction is and how you need to change that as soon as boot camp ends so that you're growing your business. Then make a list of what you need to grow and stick to the list. Hint, hint, hint. Hold classes, train leaders, do follow up. Hint, 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 hint. All right. Every time you're doing a task, ask yourself if it falls into one of those 3 categories. If you plateau, open your workbook back to this page and look at the lines below and hold yourself accountable for how you're spending your time. Don't fall into the pitfall of wasting time on things that don't grow your business. Okay. Don't fall into that pitfall. So that's, I got you holding yourself accountable in the workbook. Tomorrow's chapter is tomorrow's training is where we really kind of we wrap up the book tomorrow. We do have 3 chapters left, but they're very short. One of them is an encouragement chapter. I'm going to talk about comparing yourself. I'm going to talk about your pace. I'm going to talk about prosperity. I'm going to talk about a bunch of those things. Also, we're going to hit the next chapter, which is chapter 25, which is the view from the top. And we're going to run through the entire system again, top down, real quick, just so that you know exactly what you should be doing, how we market your classes, how you host the classes, all of that. I'm going to share a couple of success stories. And then we're going to prepare for Friday, which is the last day of boot camp, where I run you through the appendixes and I show you how to use these tools and how to use the system to keep growing your team. You guys have survived day 23. We only have 2 days of boot camp left. In 48 hours, we're all going to be sitting here crying on each other that it's over. But I love you guys, and I hope that you come. I hope you get on the online symposium that Ali is doing. You'll hear me speak there. I hope that you come to convention and give me a big hug. Come into the Aroma Share event, which is not in the Salt Palace. It's in a different hotel. So come to the Aroma Share event if you want to know where it is. I know we'll have it up on Facebook a lot. It'll be on the oilabilityteam.com page too. Come there, come get books signed, write me, tell me how you're doing. I would love to get correspondence from you guys and see how the system has worked for you. Leave us reviews on Amazon that blesses us. But more than anything, I'm really, really, really asking you to share this with your teams, okay? Because I want to see you guys prosper and grow. That's why I wrote this thing. So we got to pass the torch. So I want you to be preparing even now to pass the torch so that you can keep the ball rolling and holding your teams accountable, all right? Love you guys back. You have an awesome Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow night as we wrap up the book and then dip into the appendixes on Friday. You guys are Diamonds Rising.